Hey guys, this next video, real quick, is just going to touch on some of the rules of exponents. All right, stuff again that we may have forgotten some specifics, or we just wanted to make sure we got some clarification. But as we continue to now work throughout this review packet, towards the very end, we need to make sure we understand how exponents work. All right, in this first case here, we're multiplying like bases. So x times x. When you're multiplying like bases, you add the exponents. So number one, 4 plus 7 is 11. So this is x to the 11th power. All right. The touchpad on the Chromebooks is pretty difficult here. So I know it looks tough, but just work with me here. The second one, all right, for number 2, power to a power, an exponent raised to another exponent. All right, that's when you multiply. So when multiplying like bases, you add power to a power. You're putting one exponent to another exponent, so x squared to the 5th power. This is when we multiply. And this would simplify to x to the 10th. All right. Same deal here. Just notice that in number 3, we have multiple parts. So think of it like this exponent here gets distributed to both the 2 and the 4. Oftentimes, students just forget to take it to every term, especially when it's a number, and they just take it to the exponent. They say, okay, well, 4 times 3 is 12. But this 2 right here does have an exponent, and it's not 0, it's 1. So it also goes to that. So this becomes 2 cubed, 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then it's x to the 4 times 3, which is 12. This is awful. All right. 8x to the 12th would be our final answer there. Okay. Here we're dividing, right? You have x to the 9th over x squared. X to the 9th divided by, in other words. So when you're multiplying, you add. When you divide, you subtract. Okay. And think of it this way. Think of it as that you have 9 x's up top, you have 2 x's in the bottom, and you went to cancel them out. Well, that would leave you with 7 of them. So it's x to the 7th is what we would be left with here. Okay. Again, in this example, right, we're dividing. X cubed divided by x to the 10th. So when you're dividing, you subtract. Well, 3 minus 10 is negative 7. So what do we do with that? Well, you're not allowed to have negative exponents. Okay, so you would move them. And in this case, you can also think of it as, well, I have 10 x's in the bottom, 3 up top. If I cancel them out, I'm going to have x to the 7th, but think about where the greater number was in this case, and the greater number was in the denominator. So this answer is 1 over x to the 7th. All right, that's a 7. Kind of looks like a bad 3, but it's a 7. All right. This one right here, like I was just saying, you're not allowed to have negative exponents. So think of this as being y to the negative 5th power over 1, right? So when an exponent is negative and it's in the numerator, you take it and put it in the denominator, and vice versa. So in this case, we just have to move this, and this simplifies to being 1 over y to the 5th. All right, now the one that's in the numerator, don't get confused. Like that's not this one. Like I didn't just take a reciprocal. I moved down that y to the negative 5 to the denominator, right? But if this was a 2, oh, whoops, a little aggressive with that. If there was a 2 in the denominator, let's just say, that stays. The 2 doesn't have a negative exponent, so that's not moving to the numerator. That just stays down in the denominator. All right, so 1 over 2y to the 5th. Okay, so here we're multiplying. We have multiple parts to each one of these terms. So the first thing I might do, and there's kind of more ways to do it than just one, you got to kind of figure out whatever you're comfortable with. But I'm going to distribute this 2 to each one of these terms. So the 3, the x, and the 5. All right, so 3 squared is 9. That's x to the first power. So x to the first times 2. Let's keep add. Becomes x squared. All right, y to the 5th squared. So power to a power, you multiply, is y to the 10th. I'm going to do the same thing over here. The 3's got to get distributed. 2 cubed, right? Don't forget to do the numbers. Sometimes students just want to do the variable. Becomes 8. Four times 3 is 12. And then 2 times 3. So guys, that 4 is supposed to be a 12. All right, 4 times 3 is a 12. All right, 2 times 3 here. All right, 2 times 3 is 6. So it's y to the 6. Now we're not done. All right, this is just how the problems get longer, but all the terminology that we just learned in the problems from the top, from the first page, you're going to carry over here. So 9 times 8, right? Treat that just like you would if it was, you're learning your times tables here. 9 times 8 is 72. Now, like bases, x and x, you add the exponents, right? Like bases, when you're multiplying, you add the exponents. So this becomes 2. Remember, this is a weird looking 12. 2 and 12, when we add them, gives us 14. All right, 10 and 6 as I get the y's now. Whoa, whoops. Let's see if I can erase. That's y to the 16th. So there's your answer. 72, x to the 14th, and then y to the 16th. All right. Where'd that go? All right, must have clicked off there and then kind of went away, but no big deal. We got one more problem to do. All right, so I'll kind of just try to talk about this one a little more. All right, because it's getting tougher to write, but you're going to distribute this 2. All right, so distribute the 2, and you're going to multiply it times each one of these exponents. All right, so I'm just going to start out by writing them like this. Whoops. All right, down here we're going to have another x. And the 2 y's. All right, so take that 2 to each one of these exponents. That's going to be a negative 12. That's going to be 8. Down here we got 5 times 2 is 10. Well, we'll just call that a 10. And this is going to be a negative 6. Now these negative exponents can't stay. All right, so this negative 6 is going to come up to the top, And when it does, it's just going to be positive 6, and I'm going to combine it with the 8. This negative 12, same deal. It's going to go down on the bottom. It's going to combine with the 10. So up top, we're going to have our y's. And it's going to be y to the 14th. And in the bottom, you're going to have x to the 22nd. All right, and that's it, guys. So again, take a look at this video, and we'll work through it in class tomorrow. All right, thanks.